Her name is Amara. She was betrayed and sold by someone she trusted. The night Amara was taken, no one came looking. Not because she wasn't loved, but because she was sold by someone she trusted. She was 9, still young enough to believe that home was safe, that the people around her would protect her, that love meant security. But that night, everything she believed in collapsed. It wasn't loud. No dramatic screams. No warning signs. Just a quiet conversation. A promise of something better. And a hand she thought she could trust. That was all it took. The car ride felt normal at first. Until it didn't. The road got longer. The air felt heavier. And the silence started saying things she didn't understand. "Where are we going?" she asked. No answer. That was the moment fear introduced itself. By the time she realized something was wrong, it was already too late. Days turned into confusion. Confusion turned into fear. And fear turned into reality. She wasn't going home. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not ever. Amara had been sold. Not stolen. Not lost. Sold. The world she entered next was one no child should ever see. Strange places. Strange faces. Cold eyes that didn't see her as human. She became something else. A number. A product. A transaction. She was moved from place to place. City to city. Like cargo. No roots. No identity. Just survival. At first she cried. Every night. Quietly. Because crying loudly had consequences. But something changed over time. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Slowly. Silently. She stopped asking why me. And started asking, how do I survive this? She began to observe everything. The way people spoke. The patterns in movement. The timing of doors opening and closing. She noticed who was careless. And who was dangerous. She learned when to stay invisible. And when to blend in. Because in a world where she had no power, knowledge became her only weapon. Years passed. And with every passing year, she became stronger. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, strategically. Hope didn't come back all at once. It came in fragments. Tiny thoughts like, this won't be forever. Then one day, opportunity appeared. Not in the form of help, but in chaos. It was during a transfer. Rushed. Disorganized. Different from the usual routine. People shouting. Doors opening and closing too quickly. Mistakes being made. And Amara saw it. A gap. Small but real. For a moment she hesitated. Because fear whispered, what if you fail? What if it gets worse? But something deeper, something stronger, spoke louder. If you don't try, this is your life forever. So she ran. No plan. No destination. Just instinct. Her heart pounded like it was trying to escape her chest. Every step felt too loud. Every shadow felt like someone chasing her. But she didn't stop. She couldn't. When she finally slowed down, she realized something terrifying. She was free. But she was also completely alone. No home. No money. No identity. Freedom didn't feel like freedom yet. The first nights were the hardest. Sleeping in places that didn't feel safe. Waking up to hunger that felt endless. Trusting no one. Expecting nothing. But she had survived worse. And that gave her something powerful. Perspective. She started small. Odd jobs. Cleaning. Carrying loads. Doing anything that could earn her a meal. Some days she succeeded. Some days she didn't. But she kept going. One day she found a torn book. Half the pages missing. Dirty. Discarded. Most people would have ignored it. But Amara picked it up. Because something inside her wanted more than survival. She didn't know how to read properly. But she tried. Letter by letter. Word by word. Slowly, painfully. She taught herself. That book became many books. And those books became something else. A doorway. She started understanding the world. Not just the one she had suffered in, but the one beyond it. And with knowledge came something new. A voice. First it was quiet. Uncertain. She spoke to a small group. Shared her story. Her truth. People listened. Not out of pity, but because it was real. Her words carried weight. Because they weren't rehearsed. They were lived. She began speaking more. In small spaces. Then larger ones. Her story traveled. Before she ever did. She became more than a survivor. She became a voice for others still trapped. An activist. Fighting for children no one was looking for. But she didn't stop there. Because awareness wasn't enough. She wanted change. So she studied. Law. Policy. Systems. She wanted to understand not just the problem, but how to dismantle it. It wasn't easy. There were moments she felt like giving up. Moments where the past felt too heavy. Moments where the world felt too big to fight. But every time she remembered, that 9-year-old girl, confused, betrayed, forgotten, and she kept going. Years passed, and Amara changed, not just in appearance, but in presence. She walked into rooms, and people listened. She spoke, and systems responded. Until one day, history shifted. The girl who was once sold stood before a nation, not as a victim, not as a survivor, but as a leader. Amara became the minister of justice. The same system that once failed her was now in her hands, and she didn't forget. She couldn't, because power to her wasn't about control. It was about protection. Her first law was personal, deeply personal. No child disappears without a system fighting to find them. It wasn't just policy. It was a promise to every child still unseen, every voice still unheard, every life still treated like it doesn't matter. And as she stood there, signing that law into existence, she paused, just for a moment, because in that silence, she saw her past. Not the pain, not the darkness, but the strength it created. The girl who was sold never truly disappeared. She evolved. Now, she had come back for everything. Sometimes, the world will try to erase you, break you, reduce you to nothing. But sometimes, that same nothing becomes the foundation for something unstoppable. Amara wasn't supposed to survive. She wasn't supposed to rise. She wasn't supposed to matter. But she did. And her story became proof that even the most broken beginnings can lead to the most powerful endings. And if this story kept you watching till the end, make sure you like this video and subscribe for more stories like this.